All right, so let's begin here. What we're starting to do is put everything together. So, lesson 15, read expressions in which letters stand for numbers. So, with our lesson 15, we're kind of doing a little bit of review here from the standpoint of, let's go over our words here again. So, addition. We've got some of our favorites there, like the basics, like plus. We are going to add. Sum is another one there. Increase. All of these particular words mean add. Now, again, we've got more of them there, but here are just kind of our, our basics in a way. The one that we want to pay attention to is that word sum. We're going to box that particular word in. Subtraction. We can minus. All right. Take away. All right. We've got our good friend difference. Difference is going to be a boxed in word. And again, we're going to get to why we're going to box them in a moment. And you know what? Why wait? Our boxed in words. Let's come up top here. Our boxed in words. These always mean the answer to a, and then whether it's an addition problem, whether it's a subtraction problem. The big thing about this is these guys, these boxed in words mean parentheses, so get ready to use parentheses. And the other big thing is we're going to watch for the word and. That's going to help us out in here. The other thing to watch for subtraction is our friend less than, because that makes us reverse the order. And yeah, those are our main ones there. We'll add to this here. I don't want you to think this is the end all be all, but we'll definitely hit our main people that are here. Multiplication, well, times is our basic one there. The big guy, our boxed in word that goes along with this is product. That's our boxed in word. The word of also means to multiply as well. What's half of 12? Well, you multiply a half times 12 and you get 6. So of is the multiplication one. Division, we've got divided by, all right, our boxed in word, quotient, all right, I'm going to box that guy in there. That's about it there. I mean, we've got the word into, how many times does 5 go into 15? But again, those are our main ones. And then our exponents. I'm running out of room over here, so you might have room there. This is where we say to the power. We also know, we've made a comment, I guess we should say that squared is specific to the. Let me move down here a little bit. Squared is specific to the second power. And then there's someone that means to the third power. Yep, cubed. All right, if you're cubed, then you're to the third power. So those are ones that we want to make sure. So what we're doing here is we're writing an expression using words. So we can stay very basic with them, like A minus B. That's it. We could also say the difference of A and B. We could say B less than A. Again, reverse the order with it. So we're going to have lots of different ones there. And sometimes we're going to force you to use certain words to make sure you have an understanding for it. So X, Y, well, when they're up against it means to multiply. So we can say X times Y. I mean, that's the most basic one. We can say the product of X and Y, X multiplied by Y. Lots of options there. Lots of options as we look through it. Now, what we're interested in here is we start to get additional things that are going on. So we can say here, this does mean to multiply, again, number up against the letter, the product of 4 and F, and I'm going to do a comma here because the next thing we're going to do is plus U. So again, could you say 4 times? Yeah, I'm just trying to get some different ideas that are in here as you go through it. That's guy D. We could say D minus B and then because it's the third power, we could say b cubed. We could say, the number d, the number b, a number, but for right now, hey, let's just go through. I'm more interested in the other words and what we're using for our variables there. Ooh, parentheses. So we could say 5 times. All right. Who means to use parentheses with subtraction? Well, that's the word difference. So 5 times the difference of u and 10. Now, remember, we're going to pause here for a second. Remember, that word difference, answer to a, in this case, subtraction problem, which means get ready to use parentheses, and then remember that word and gets replaced with the sign. So that's how I know u minus 10, that's why I'm saying u and 10. So the two things that I'm subtracting here, that's what's separated by the and sign, or the and word, I should say. So 5 times the difference of u and 10, and then we could say plus h. The comma is there to help us out. All right, the comma is there to kind of give us that pause there. For letter F, remember the fraction bar means to divide, so we can say 3 divided by, but then we're going to throw a certain word out there, 3 divided by the quantity d plus f. Remember, quantity doesn't mean a specific operation. It just means, hey, this is a group that we're going to do together. So it's like parentheses. And remember, when you do have a fraction bar, they kind of do have built-in parentheses that are there. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Circle all the vocabulary words that can be used to describe this expression. I'll do the first one, but we want you to kind of do all of them in there. Do we have any addition? No. Do we have any subtraction? Sure do. Do we have any multiplication? Yes, number up against the letter. Do I have any division? No, no division to go along with it. Go ahead and try these next three. All right, try 10, 11, 12. All right, circle. We'll check those guys in class. All right. A lot of this is just experience. A lot of this is just practicing kind of going through them. So let's hit a few here and there. And then, like I said, we're going to have you do some of them as well. Oops, I went a little too far. We're going to try to get to question number 13 here if I can get there. All right. So I can just say 8. I can say minus. And I can say just 2 times. And then G. All right. Again, I've got no parentheses that are there. I don't need to make this more difficult than I need to. For 14, the 15's up against the parentheses, which means to multiply. And then I've got an addition problem wrapped in parentheses. So who means addition with parentheses? The word sum, yeah. So I can say 15 times the sum of, and then what are the two things I'm adding? A and C. Remember, the word and for your box in words becomes the symbol. So sum means to add, and so there's your A plus your C. Let's just go to 15 here. Remember, it's fraction, which means division. Get ready to use the word quantity. So I would say the quantity, all right, M plus N. All right, and then just go divided by 5. I have to say plus here because quantity does not mean to add. I could say the sum, and I would say the sum of M and N, and then divide by 5, because I chose to use the quantity. Again, lots of answers here, lots of answers. I want you to try 16, 17, and 18. All right. And we'll go from there, all right? A lot of this is just going to be repetition, getting more comfortable. The more you see it, the better.